Hey everyone, it's Scott Withers, Tournament Director for the 2020 Trainwreck at Trojan Tournament. This is your official players meeting, so make sure you watch it all the way through. I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible, but you are responsible for the information in this. Every player is going to get a player's guide, so you'll be able to refer to that too when you check in. But remember, this is a PDGA event, so all PDGA rules will be strictly enforced. Each round is going to consist of 18 holes. Players will start on their assigned hole. Those will be posted on the PDGA website Wednesday for round one, and then as soon as we can when the rounds are over before the next one starts. The quick turnaround is going to be that round one to round two, but I'll get to that during the schedule, so just make sure you're checking pdga.com for your hole assignments. We are not going to have player boards out, so you will need to check online for your tee assignments. Please keep up the pace of play. If there's a hole between you and the group in front of you, you're going too slow. We know that Trojan can take some time to play. We know that there's a lot of danger out there, and it also looks like we may get a little bit of rain, so pace of play might slow down a little. But make sure you and your group are doing your part to keep up the pace of play so we can get those 2 rounds done during that Saturday portion. Check-in is required before round one. You need to show up to the table over by hole 1 for this layout. Come check in. I'll be over there. Amateurs, you get your players pack at that point, which is a custom flight towel for this tournament, and then also a disc from Tiger Discs of your choice. Please make sure you pick those up before, and everyone needs to check in. Everyone, pros and AMs, everyone come check in before the tournament. I will be out there from 7:45 a.m. until 8:30 doing check-in on Saturday morning. Let's see. Let's be respectful of tournament staff and volunteers. Spotters are going to be... Excuse me. Sorry, Siri kicked on for some reason. I don't really know what happened. Let's be respectful of tournament staff and volunteers. Spotters are going to be provided on specific holes to help out, but remember, it is you and your group's responsibility to make the final call on OB rules. I'm going to do what I can to have spotters on 1 and 18, and then also maybe a couple more holes as the day goes. Please read your player's guide for all OB rulings. If it's not listed, it is not out of bounds. We are not playing any Mandos out there this weekend, so I'll go over the holes in just a second. But if you want a little more in-depth course preview, then I posted it on the Year Round Disc Golf podcast page, and I posted it to the Facebook event page yesterday. Did a full breakdown of the course and kind of the way it will play. Check your scorecard. Any scoring errors will be automatic 2-stroke penalty. There is some kind of weird ruling things that can come out with water and stuff at Trojan. If you have any questions about how a ruling should be played, play it out both ways. Come back and ask me at the end. Live scoring is going to be mandatory for this event. Go to pdga.com/score, and the password is TT2020. So like Trainwreck at Trojan 2020, it is TT2020. All pro payout is obviously going to be done by PayPal, just like all tournaments this year. I feel like if you're playing this tournament, you probably have a pretty good idea in what 2020 has looked like for tournaments and are used to getting all your payout by PayPal at this point. All right, here's the schedule. 7:45 to 8:30 a.m. on Saturday is check-in, 8:58 2-minute warning, and round 1 starts at 9 a.m. Round 2, we're going to take a little longer lunch just in case people need to go back into town. 1:43 will be 2-minute warning. 1:45 is round 2 start. There will be no players meeting for either the second or third round. You are responsible to be at your hole that is listed on pdga.com, and we'll get those updated as soon as possible. But you're responsible to be at your hole at 1:43, ready to go, and 1:45 is when we're teeing off. Sunday, 8:58, 2-minute warning, 9 a.m. Start time for round 3. This will be the final round for every division except for the top 4 in MPO. 1 o'clock or as soon as possible afterwards, we will do awards and script for MA1 and FPO, and then 1:15 p.m. the MPO Final 9 is going to start. John Youngbar is going to step up and help out with the script for MA1 payout, so he will be running the booth if I am in the Final 9. If I am not in the Final 9, then I'll be there doing it as well. All right, holes real quick. Essentially on or over any road that you don't have to cross is going to be out of bounds. So hole 1, OB is a parking lot or in the water. Hole 2 is just in the water. Hole 3, OB is water, parking lot, road and over, or past the flag line. The only safe zones are the layup area that's just over the first set of water and short of the flags that I'm going to put out, or the island that the island of land that the basket is on. It does not play like an island. You do not have to come to rest on it. If you cross that land at all, you get to play it from up there. There's no drop zone this year. You play it from where it went out at. I think the drop zone creates too much confusion in terms of what goes there and what doesn't. So play it wherever you went out at. Use it your own risk. If you choose to throw the hyzer over the parking lot on the first shot, you might be throwing from pretty close to the tee pad again if you don't get back in bounds. Hole 4, road and over. This tee pad, you are teeing off from the road, understanding that the initial teeing area is out of bounds, but it's just for a tiny second. A lot of players are going to throw the hyzer down the road, though. If you never cross in bounds, you do have to re-tee with a stroke. Hole 5, road and over is out of bounds. Hole 6, the water or the path on and over before the flag line. So your drives are going to play into a landing area and the path is out of bounds for your drive, but then there will be a flag line that is about equal with the water. Once you get to that point, the cart path or the driving path is not out of bounds any longer, and then road and over long. Pretty simple. It's also on your player's guide. Hole 7, OB water, OB road and over. Hole 8 is a dog park hole. You can lay up safe in the grass, but if you go for the dog park, you have to get in the fence. If you don't get in the fence, you go to a drop zone with a stroke penalty, which is not an easy up and down from there either. So lay up if you're not positive about it, but if you think you can get there, go for it. Hole 9, path and over is out of bounds. Hole 10 is a crescent hole. This is probably the toughest par 3 in the course. OB water, OB path and over on the right. You got to land in the narrow area, so make sure that you are spotting and letting the players know where they went out of bounds at if they do happen to not stay safe. 11, path and over on the left. There's a flag line on the right that keeps people out of the bushes. It's out of bounds, so it's both sides on that one, although the path on the left doesn't really come into play. Hole 12, OB water, OB path and over. Hole 13, OB path and over, OB water, OB road and over. So if you go in the highway, it's out of bounds. There is no Mando in that hole. You can technically throw over the road right now, but you're going to hit a car, probably stay out of bounds, and be taking a big number because you're not going to be very far off the tee box. I would definitely suggest going up the middle and not trying to go over the road. Hole 14, OB is water. The path is safe on this hole. Hole 15, OB water. The path is safe on this hole. Hole 16, OB water and OB road and over. If you hit land on 16 at all, if you skip off the water, hit the land, and fall back into the water, you get to play it from where it touched land at. If you never get to land, then you can go to the drop zone. So if you never get to land, you throw your drive and it stays short in the water the whole time. Your two options are to re-tee or to go to the drop zone. Hole 17, OB water, OB road and over, and then hole 18 is only OB water. The path is played out before in this hole. We are playing it as safe this year. The path on 18 is not in effect. If your drive goes over the path on the right, good luck getting all the way over the water from that spot, but it is not out of bounds. Okay. Also on hole 18 only, if you do go in the water in the first landing area where it's pretty steep down to it, you get to take relief to the edge of the short grass. We don't want people falling in the water. So if you do happen to throw your drive in the water, throw back in hyzer drive, it goes into the water, or you throw a second shot and it never crosses land and you have to still play from that first landing area, take relief all the way back up to the edge of the shortcut. Okay. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you to our hole sponsors. Thank you to our tournament sponsors. Tiger Disc is the presenting sponsor for the event, and a bunch of people that stepped up. Also, if we do have spotters out there, I know there's going to be a couple. Everyone, please give them a thank you. And if we end up with anyone in the water retrieving discs, we were looking for someone that wanted to bring a kayak out there and do that. If so, throw them a couple bucks if your disc ends up back on the lost and found table. But this is Trojan. It's going to be fun. It looks like it might be a little wet. Bring your rain gear with you. And please, if for some reason you're not going to make it, if it's not going to make it back for Sunday, or if you're even not going to make it for the whole tournament, let me know so we can adjust scorecards. So with that, I think that's everything I have. I can't wait to see you guys on Saturday morning and get started with the 2020 Trainwreck at Trojan. Thanks for listening.